and gentlemen, introducing the pound-for-pound best radio show around the world, it's Leave It in the Ring.
Okay, man, so there's some news right now that Edwin Valero's calling you out after him dismantling DeMarco. What's your take about that?
It's on, baby. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with it. I told you I'm willing to fight the best in the world. Valero to me is one of the best fighters in the world. You know, pound for pound. Let's get it on, man. Now, this is what I've been waiting on. This is exactly the fight that, you know what I'm saying, that make me nervous. You know what I mean? And that's the way I train. I train extremely hard for these fights, man. You can hear it in my voice, man. I'm very excited that finally somebody like Valero or somebody big in the division in the boxing game is actually stepping up to face me and want to fight me. And that just, man, it makes me happy, man. Brings chills to my body. So let's get it on, man. You know, let's get it on. The figures got to be right, definitely. You know, this is a major fight for both of us in our career. And but you know, money. It's all about the money, man. It's all about the money. And I'm willing to do the fight.
Did you have a chance to watch him fight Antonio DeMarco? And if you did, what did you think about that performance?
I didn't get a chance to see the fight. You know what I'm saying? I was just now you know, doing a little studying, so I checked out you know, YouTube, and they had like the first round and the second round on YouTube. But you know, I'm waiting for Showtime to air it again, see, you know, watch it on the demand. But shoot, the little bit that I did see, he's a busy fighter. He comes to fight, man. You know, he comes to fight. He brings the pressure. He lets his hands go. Combinations. He's a hard puncher. To me, I think Antonio DeMarco, you know, he fought a smart fight. You know, he's trying to box him and, you know what I'm saying, use his reach, use his height a little bit. But, you know, he didn't let his hands go enough. You know, and he kind of fought Valero's fight a little bit. You know, Valero likes to feel like he's charged, like he's the man. You know, and you know, you got to shut him down. You got to shut him down from the gate. You know, right from the jump. Like, you here to fight, you here to win. And if you do that, you know, he's gonna keep on coming. But, you know, he gonna have doubts in his head if you stand there and you trade with him and you take his best shot.
Let me ask you this, because there's been so many rumors, and this one just seems like it's a little bit more solid. I mean, first there was talk of you getting in with either Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather. Then there was some talk about Amir Khan. Even with that, is there a possible bout with Amir Khan? Has that even came to the table in front of you?
No, not at all. We were trying to negotiate with Golden Boy, with Amir Khan, and we was actually, my promoter was negotiating with Frank Warren with Amir Khan before Amir Khan left him. You know, we were willing to make the fight. You know, we were talking figures. We were, you know, talking about either fighting in England or fighting here in the States. You know, I was going for the fight, but then we lost contact. Like, nobody, they contacted us, and you know, they were doing other allegations and other negotiations with other promoters, and you know, once Golden Boy got involved, they said hell no. You know, Amir Khan just basically said that he ain't ready yet. He just said, you know, he's fresh in the division. You know, he's fought, I think, 2 fights in the division. I've been here my whole career. You know, that, you know, give it to the end of the summer and he'll be ready to get it on.
Talk about Nate Campbell versus Victor Ortiz. Victor, shouldn't that be you?
We called out Vic too. We called out Vic people. Golden Boy said hell no. I mean, you know, Golden Boy said no to Victor Ortiz. You know, I mean, I don't really like to hate on nobody, but I think that's a good fight for Vic. You know, Nate Campbell, and I think that's a good fight for Nate Campbell too.
Right.
You know, in that fight, you know what I mean? I will pick Nate. I will pick Nate in that fight. You know, if Nate comes ready and hungry, you know, in the fight and don't be messing around, I think he can do some damage to Victor Ortiz. Definitely. Without all that pressure and his heavy hands, definitely. But you know, that doesn't bother me at all, man. You know, we call Vic number 2. You know, we call Vic. We called. We're trying to get a fight with Madonna. You know, we're negotiating a fight with Madonna, and then Madonna and them was negotiating with Dab Judah, you know, behind our back, you know, which is cool, you know. I mean, you know, we basically call Malinaji them. I mean, we call every top 140 pounder in the game, and nobody want to fight. So we're just like, all right, well, shoot, let's go, let's see if we can fight Zab. We started talking to Zab and people, and I was waiting to hear back from my manager, you know, and see what they said, to see if Zab is willing to fight me. And then this came about. You know, I'm just hearing it today. You know, my manager called me up today, and let's do it. You know, I was like, this is perfect. But I said, you know, the money got to be right, man. The money got to be right. You know, I mean, they got to make me happy. You know, in order to do this fight.
Timothy, are you viewing this fight? If the fight goes through, because Edwin seems to me that he's been looking for a defining fight to make him a superstar. Do you feel that this is, if he signs on, this is also your defining fight among the mainstream fans to recognize that you are one of the best pound for pounds out there?
Absolutely, absolutely. This is the type of fight that I was looking for. Edwin Valero is a star in the boxing world. We trying to get that super mega fight. It's the perfect time right now to face one another. I mean, it's the perfect time. Definitely, the winner of this fight, definitely hands down, is the pound for pound king at 140. Pound for pound in the world of boxing should be in the top 10, no doubt. But this is a huge fight. This is a big fight, man.
Right.
And let me tell you something. After watching the little clips on the YouTube, it's gonna be a hell of a fight, man. It's gonna be a hell of a fight because that boy throw a lot of punches, man. You know, a lot of shots. You know, with bad intentions. And I'm gonna be right there. I got fast hands and I got quick combinations too, and we're gonna be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
I think it makes up for a great fight. But let me ask you this. One more question before I let you go. If none of the 140 guys step up, or none of the 135 guys like Juan Manuel Marquez or Edwin or anybody else decides to step up, is there any way possible of maybe you considering stepping up to an Andre Berto at 147?
Absolutely, man. Anything's possible in this game, And like I told you, I'm willing to fight anybody in this game. Andre Berto was a good friend of mine. We have talked about it in the past. On one occasion, I was looking for a fight or whatever. When Nate Campbell, fight was coming through. We was negotiating, but then I got a call from my manager, and he was just like, you know what, Showtime really like an Andre Berto fight. So I called Berto and I was like, hey, what do you think about me and you going at it? And he was just like, I'm cool with it. Now, you cool with it? I was like, I'm cool with it. We can go at it. And he was just like, hey, the money got to be right. And I'm like, exactly. The money got to be right. We'll do it, though. I was like, at the end of the day, we boys, but it's business. And he was just like, you ain't said nothing but a thing. And I'm like, hey, let's do it then. And he started laughing. I started laughing. I was just like, hey, man, let's do it. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all about the cash, man. And I keep on saying that because, I feel that I ain't been broken off, like I'm supposed to be broken off, yet, and especially the success that I've been having in my career so far. I feel like I'm not getting that, that paper that I think that I deserve. So, that's what it's about right now for me. That's what it's about for me right now. Fighting the best for the most money.
A lot of people do recognize that you are pound for pound because they don't want to step in the ring with you.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, they don't, man. For obvious reasons. I mean, I don't think they're scared. I just think that it's a 50-50 fight. Getting in the ring with anybody in the top division is a 50-50 fight. So everybody's looking to, promoters are looking to protect their fighters and continue on, and progressing and trying to make that big money, and trying to pick the right fights, the right style for their fighters. And I agree with that in a certain point, but when you at world class, I don't agree with that.
Right.
I think that world class opponents need to be facing world class opponents. That's the way I look at it. That's the way it is in every other sport.
Exactly.
World class face world class.
Well, man, I got to thank you because, to me, you've kept that tradition of the marvelous Marvin Hagler, Salvador Sanchez, get in and fight anyone at any time, and you've kept true to that, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you. Well, shoot, I try to stay true to myself, man. It's true to my boxing fans, man, and I try to be a man of my word, man, as much as I can, but I like I said, I get up for these big fights. I want to thank you guys once again, man, for definitely putting me on, man, and letting me be heard. And let's get it on, Valero. Let's do it, baby. Stop playing. Let's do it. I'm game. Let's do it.
All right, brother.